It's early for you, girl.
It is early. Well, it's early for Lucy too, my neighbor,
Uh,
right?
yeah, that's true.
We get up early over here actually every day. All right. Well, we're going to get this kick started if that's all right, Lucy. Sound good to you?
When you're ready, I'll transition the slides.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll be like the librarian, like, okay, turn the page now. Awesome. Also, I fell asleep with wet hair. Speaking of efficient AF, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? I'm so happy to be here. How are you, Florence? Hi, Earl. All right. Excellent. All right, we can go ahead with this. We're just gonna get like this. This title slide says efficient AF. I'm so excited with Spark to help you learn how to be one step closer to really running your business smarter, not working yourself harder. The power of strategic delegation today and what it takes to scale your business using a virtual assistant. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of the Pareto principle, but this 80-20 rule gets thrown around a lot. And the 80-20 rule is actually applicable to so many areas of life. We hear it about diet, lifestyle, and exercise, but it also applies to so many things in business. About 80% of your team is going to produce 20% and vice versa. 20% of your team is going to give you 80% of your results. 20% of your clients are going to bring you 80% of your income. You can even think of this as it pertains to retail. 20% of the retail that's on your shelf is going to be what brings you 80% of your sales. So this Pareto principle is something to bear in mind as you look at what levers to pull and what ways to become more efficient, and also the things that you're going to want to delegate. Look to delegate so that you can scale. Knowing that 20% of your activities that you do as a business owner, as a stylist, as a leader, are going to be giving you 80% of your results. Also, this is why I don't have Instagram on my phone. You know, my Instagram account's, I think, going well. I don't check it because I like to delegate that. That's one thing that's a really easy, for me, low-hanging fruit. Right at the bottom there, it says 20% of your distractions consume 80% of your time. I'm a person who will, get bored, start scrolling. And maybe I go even to just post a video, or I go to find my friend's page and like something that I know they put out there and to comment or wish them whatever it is, good luck at what they're doing. And, 25, 30 minutes later, I realize that it's just starting to eat away at my time and my distractions. And so there are so many things in our lives that can become a very thoughtless distraction, and in our businesses as well. That's just one little thing, like I said, that I've taken off my plate. I actually haven't done any tracking on it, which I probably should do. I know there's apps for this, but to see how much time I was spending before versus what I'm doing now. And the other thing with the Pareto principle is when you're maybe eliminating some of these low-hanging fruit or these tasks that are consuming a lot of time, is looking for ways to replace those activities with actions that are going to really build and grow your business and in other areas of your life. Oh, wait, let's go back there. Yeah, I was going to say this. This is everything about learning what to delegate and how to delegate. I'm not just talking about in business. I'm not just talking about what you love at work or what you love behind the chair if you're a stylist. What I'm talking about is in general. This little Venn diagram, I want to encourage you to start keeping notes. You can grab your phone and just start jotting down notes in your phone, or if you like to write pen to paper, write a list of the things that you're doing day to day that you love doing. Like, I love walking my dog. I certainly could hire someone to walk my dog, but I love spending time with her. She's sitting right next to me on the floor having a little, she wants to hear how to be more efficient, and she's with me every time I'm on Zoom. So what do you love to do? What makes you the most money? And what are you best at? This is something to consider specifically in business. And then as you begin to get more efficient in every area of your life, I'm going to encourage you to take out your phone or get a piece of paper and a notepad and write down those three separate things: what I love, what I'm best at, and what makes the most money. I mentioned earlier how much I love to walk my dog. I'm going to tell you, I'm probably not the best dog walker on planet Earth. I'm pretty good at it. And it certainly doesn't make me any money, but I love it so much that stays in my life. There's other things in my life that I actually really love to do, or maybe I'm really good, but they don't make me money and I'm not good at them. So I don't love doing them and they don't make me money. So those are off my list. The goal is to start to jot down these things: what you're great at, what makes you money, and what you love. And then go through each of those columns and just start circling all the things that you see overlapping. That's going to give you a really great idea toward what your zone of genius is, what your areas of expertise are, and where you should begin focusing more of your time. So let's say you are an excellent educator, or you are amazing at leading your team in one-on-one. Perhaps you're really, really the best at haircut, and you're making great money doing it and you really, really love it. Something like haircutting should stay on your list. You're going to start to see other tasks begin to fabricate, such as paying invoices, handling accounting, bookkeeping, making sure that little things, new team members are added to your software, making sure that pricing is adjusted every 6 months or a year, however you do it in your business. These are things that make you money, but maybe you don't love doing them, and perhaps you're not even that good at them. When we start to find things that don't overlap in all three, and when it comes to our business, we need to begin to consider that that's a list of tasks that need to be delegated. And then in our personal lives, to begin to do the same. With me, there are things that don't make me any money, like walking my dog, that I'm not the best at, but I love. And in those areas of life, the way that I've begun to delegate my business is what's given me the time and the flexibility to do more of the things that I really love and enjoy doing, that are purely for fulfillment, that don't actually make me money, or that I'm not the most skilled at. So hopefully that gets your juices flowing to know what's next. We're going to identify what to delegate now. We talked about that a little bit. You want to start to look at those areas that are not generating revenue, those areas of things that need to be done, but you're not the only person equipped to do them, nor are you the best at those items. Start to look at those things like adding new team members to your software, updating your pricing, handling emails, paying invoices. I love leading team meetings. I'm really good at it as well. It doesn't make me money, but it does generate money for the business as we begin to be more aligned. So I'm really great at those meetings. What I'm not really great at, I don't really need to do, and frankly, it's below my pay grade, would be getting on my software and blocking out time for each team member and myself for those meetings. That's just not a great use of my time, but the meeting needs to happen. So start thinking about all of the things that are those repetitive tasks, things that you're doing daily, weekly, monthly, and annually that you don't need to do personally. One of them for me is applying for business licenses and making sure everything goes to my accountant. I don't really love doing that. I'm not really good at it. And I sure don't make the kind of money I make cutting hair, filling out those forms. But those things need to be done. So now we're going to look at all those things that need to be done on a regular basis and begin to compile a list of all those tasks that don't fall into the love, make money, best at categories. Engaging and collaborating with a virtual assistant unlocks growth. What you're able to do, this is the starting place of making standard operating procedures, or SOPs. From your SOPs, you're going to be able to line up what you need to have happen daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and begin to delegate and train your virtual assistant on those tasks so that they're equipped to handle them and to stay on top of things, allowing you to go back to focusing at what you love to do and what's making you money. This is for simple math, assuming your time as a stylist or business owner or consultant or educator is worth $100 an hour. Looking at the amount of weeks you're spending, or the amount of time you're spending weekly, and averaging out those admin tasks to being approximately 20 hours a week. And for some of us running a business, it's far above that. If we look at that, your time being worth $100 an hour, 20 hours a week spent in admin, you're essentially paying $2,000 a week to perform those tasks. Or rather, you're missing out on $2,000 of income earning potential weekly when you don't delegate those tasks. So begin to look at your time and that $100 or $50 an hour, or whatever you would be paid, or whatever you're worth when you're producing behind the chair, whenever you're in the community networking, whenever you're pulling those big levers to grow your business. Okay. Look at what that's worth. And then consider, would I pay someone $100 an hour to do this task? I'm going to tell you something. I actually love to clean. I'm pretty good at it too. All right. So if you love to clean and you're good at cleaning, but you wouldn't pay someone $100 an hour to clean your salon, for example, or even your house or your office, you are essentially wasting your money every time you spend an hour doing something that you wouldn't pay someone your equivalent of an hourly rate to do. I would never pay someone $100 an hour to answer my email, to book my travel. I wouldn't even pay someone $100 an hour to do my bookkeeping. So those are tasks that I should no longer be doing. Oh, also, I'm not good at bookkeeping. So I really shouldn't be doing that because I'm not good at it. Very much so. All right. You build your business to lead, scale, to create. I don't want to see you bogged down in handling admin and stepping outside of your leadership hat, your expertise, and your area of passion to be distracted and bogged down by admin tasks. I know when I was behind the chair full time and leading my team, I felt like I was pulled a million different directions. I was wearing too many hats and I was being asked a lot of questions and things were being demanded of me daily that were pulling me away from the things I was best at. I was spread thin. I was making decisions for contractors coming to repair things on the salon. I was grabbing that phone call to make sure that appointment was made when somebody wasn't at the desk or when maybe we were short staffed. These kind of things and these actions that sometimes a business owner, especially a new business owner, we have to do. We're in startup mode. We're bootstrapping. But I want you to bear in mind that as you're building your business and once you get those key actions dialed in and you start to make those lists of what to delegate, you no longer have to be the person doing it all. And you actually will begin to see a huge increase in your capacity, your creative energy, your ability to lead, and your ability to scale and produce income when you delegate those tasks. Not to mention, you might regain a little bit of your sanity and have a little bit more fun. I want you to scan this QR code. Using this before June 30th, you'll get 50% off of your onboarding fee, which is $250 in savings. It's something that will help you begin to catapult your business and your success. I have so many things that I would have never imagined being possible to do in my life as a salon owner and as a stylist that I'm able to do regularly that bring me so much joy and are generating a greater income as a result of learning to delegate to dominate. So I'm inviting you to do the same and also to feel free to reach out to me. You go on our social media, you can send a DM at Spark Pro Global and reach out if you want to schedule a consultation or if you want to talk about more ideas or have any questions about how you can begin to scale with delegation. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've got any questions, like I said, you can reach out or just unmute yourself or raise your hand and ask a question. Mitch, you've been a pro at this for a long time. Do you have any questions for me?
When it comes back to the circles, you were saying to write those 3 lists out, what you love, what you do best, and makes the most money. Okay, so when I make those lists, you said to circle what overlaps, and those are things that I should probably still consider doing if they're on all 3.
If they're on all 3, and like I said, some of the things like if you just, I love haircutting and it makes me pretty good money. I'm not the best hair cutter in the salon, but I'm good at that too. Keep those things. If you see on that, there's like the shaded part in the middle. Yeah. Anything that overlaps in 2 of those categories, consider keeping for sure. The things that are all 3, those are the top of your priority list. Those are the things that you should absolutely be doing. And you'll start to see too, like if I asked you, Mitch, you can only choose or told you can only choose 3 things that you keep doing in your business. That's going to make you get crystal clear on what you really want to keep doing. So I'd encourage you to even think of it in those terms, like you're at the edge of a cliff and you got to choose 3 things only, or you're going to get shoved up. For me, it's not going to be hair cutting. I'm good at it. For me, it's going to be education. It's going to be generating ideas for the business and leading my team. Okay. And extra time, do some other things. But if you can get really crystal clear on those top 3, that helps as well. Even if they're just in categories like leadership, the things that fall under leadership, or if they're under education and the things that fall under it, right? So it doesn't have to be one specific thing, for example.
Okay. Okay, and then the only other thing that I have, and I think it's more of a control thing, and I think some ways we have that in common, but the whole thing with my schedule, I get it. I don't have meetings because I end up not scheduling them. But at the same time, it's like letting go of, allowing someone else to kind of like dictate when I'm doing something.
And the other thing though, like I mentioned in creating standard operating processes, the SOPs, part of that is, okay, I know these meetings need to take place quarterly or monthly or whatever else, okay? It's not that someone else just willy-nilly goes to your schedule and is like, today Mitch has 25 meetings. I get very specific. I want you to get really granular when it comes to delegation. And these are great questions, Mitch. When I'm delegating, I'll tell my assistant, I don't want more than 3 meetings in a day. I want 30 minutes in between for a bio break or to clear my head and to reset for the next meeting. And I don't ever want meetings on Mondays because they're too crazy, whatever. You can be very specific and then say, these meetings must happen quarterly, or these meetings need to happen every week. So letting someone take over your schedule. I haven't even used example of flights. I fly almost every week for work. I want to sit by the window so I can sleep on a plane. Okay. I like to sit middle front of the plane. I don't like to sit in the back or the front. Be really specific, get very granular, and then delegate and have somebody else book those flights for you. I don't want someone just smacking me in the middle of a middle seat on a plane.
Right.
But I don't need to be the one who books that flight myself. I can just make specific requests and then delegate it to somebody who's totally capable, more than capable of meeting those requirements, but it doesn't take my time. And at first it takes a little bit more time, right, Mitch, to sit down and think, okay, I don't want any of my meetings to start before 9 a.m. I don't want anything to end any later than 5 p.m., et cetera. I just write the outline and that's going to help. That's you turn it over to somebody else. You can keep being it. I like to reframe it. We're not control freaks. We're specific and we're clear. Tell my former spouse that I'm not a control freak. I am specific, articulate, and clear.
That's right.
So,
Okay, very cool.
all right. Thank you. And thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Good information.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Mitch. We'll see you.
Bye.
Thanks for being here, Earl and Florence. Listen, I did not sleep enough. Hopefully that made sense. All right. It's good to see your face, though. It helped, Florence. Thank you. You know what it's like.
You did great.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, Heather.
I did it. You did it. We're done, fools.